Ghost of Yotei is shaping up to be an incredible sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, with plenty of exciting improvements and additions. Sucker Punch Productions has already hinted at some of the exciting changes, building on the strong foundations of the original game and its Iki Island DLC. After dissecting the revealed trailer, I've noticed some interesting details and have some ideas what about that could even elevate this game to the even greater heights. Here's a little bit of a closer look towards what we can expect and perhaps what we can hope for included. One area where Ghost of Yotei can outshine Tsushima is in its open world side content. While the original game's Fox Shrines, Bamboo Strikes, Hot Springs, and Haikus were enjoyable, they did get repetitive over the time. The developers seem to be aware of this, as they have mentioned a commitment to making the open world experience more unique and varied. Iki Island provided a taste of what we can even expect as well, with animal shrines that include a flute minigame, archery challenges, and emotional memories of Jin sequences. I'm quite optimistic that the sequel will have an even richer variety of activities to explore, which is essential given that the map will be much larger this time. Now, Ghost of Tsushima's exploration elements were beautifully designed, with secrets and side quests often rewarding players with unique items. However, some aspects, like the random encounters, were, well, unfortunately a bit underwhelming. Encounters usually involve rescuing villagers or securing supplies, which became predictable after a while. A more dynamic system inspired by the games like like Red Dead Redemption 2 could be great for Ghost of Yotei. Imagine stumbling upon a complex scenario where you could choose to help, hinder, or simply observe. This would add depth and excitement to Atsu's journey across Hokkaido. Now, shrine activities were some of the best exploration moments in Tsushima, combining a platforming with stunning views. While Jins relied on his grappling hook to traverse these areas, adding more tools and skills to Atsu could make exploration even more engaging. Sucker Punch Productions could actually take a look at the Arkham series and see how they can incorporate it, such as the grappling hook and including the stealth elements and advantages as C's new platforming challenges included. More variety in traversal would also be a fantastic opportunity to showcase the natural beauty of Hokkaido and give players an advantage in ambush tactics. You know what will be also kind of interesting is the introduction of loyalty system with NPCs or factions would allow Atsu to build alliances across Hokkaido. Building strong bonds could unlock unique perks, special items, and assistance in battle, creating a deeper sense of community. Unique dialogue and side quests based on these relationships would make each interaction feel purposeful and integral to the narrative. Now, a rich variety of environments could help Ghost of Yotei capture Hokkaido's seasonal beauty. Now, spring cherry blossoms, harsh winter snows, autumn foliage, and even summer thunderstorms could not only offer a visual beauty, but also influence the gameplay, such as concealing Atsu's movement or creating new traversal challenges. Yes, I'm kind of referring a little bit towards the Assassin's Creed Shadows, perhaps maybe they could take some ideas from there. Moving beyond adaptive story-driven weather and a fully dynamic system where the thunderstorms make archery less accurate, fog obscurities visibility. Now in heavy rain effects, stealth would bring new challenges and immersion. A true day and night cycle with unique events or activities, depends of course on the time and the date, would make the whole world just feel more alive and unpredictable. Atsu's enemies could be, they definitely need to be improved in terms of the AI intelligence and use coordinated tactics, adjusting strategies based on the player's combat style, with a mix of samurai, yokai-inspired creatures, maybe legendary warriors. Each battle could feel distinct and memorable, adding layers to Hokkaido's lore and Ghost of Yotei's haunting atmosphere. Of course, in landscape as varied as Hokkaido, adding traversal options like canoes for crossing rivers or sleds in snowing regions would be quite thrilling. Using natural navigational cues like star constellations, animal tracks, or wind patterns, as already was present in Ghost of Tsushima, could make an exploration feel more immersive and keep players grounded in the natural world of Ghost of Yotei. Now, of course, Atsu's adventure could introduce more unique side content like mentioned, Perhaps go a little crazier, like maybe mythologically inspired shrines, optional boss fights based on Japanese folklore, of course to an extent that was already introduced in Ghost of Tsushima, and collectibles that reveal the regional's history and culture. Meaningful artifacts, each with its own story, would make gathering collectibles feel like an uncovering piece of Japan's past. Okay, this is just an idea, and I don't think this will actually come. Nevertheless, I wanted to mention it in here. I'm talking about a base building elements, incorporating that, where Atsu can help restore villages or fortify settlements would add a tangible sense of progression to her journey. Each restored village could offer distinct perks, maybe resources and side missions, enhancing her connection to the world and the people that she's protecting, in whatever the case, of course. Now, Ghost of Tsushima sets quite a high bar for post-launch content, and we have to talk about that. Ghost of Yotei could continue this tradition with regular updates, including maybe even seasonal challenges, special events, and collaborations with Japanese artists for exclusive items. These post-launch updates would keep players engaged and deepen their connection to the world of Ghost of Yotei even long after its release. Now, since Ghost of Yotei's map is significantly larger, horseback travel will play as a bigger role. In the original, horseback riding was enjoyable, but unfortunately limited in terms of the combat mechanics. Ike Island horse charge ability was a fun addition, especially when combining with a horse armor, and I'd love to see Sucker Punch expand on this idea with an additional horse combat skills. Full mount combat could add a whole new layer of strategy, and the introduction of wild horses might even mean that we can tame and perhaps bond with different steeds. The reveal trailer has already teased the return of Guided Winds feature, which was a fan favorite in Ghost of Tsushima, allowing players to explore the world naturally without a minimap. Now, this feature could evolve to include new visual cues or perhaps even more animal guides to help players find hidden objectives. A lot of players enjoyed the intuitive navigational system, but wanted a more direct pathfinding options, one that doesn't actually guide them straight through the ocean or over the mountains. Adding customizable navigational settings would be a fantastic touch, giving players the choice to make their journeys perhaps even more immersive, or maybe, if you want, direct. Now, Atsu, the new protagonist, is still a bit of a mystery. Atsu's mask, in instance, might be something like an inheritance with a significant backstory. Now, her connection to the ghost, the legend obviously, could imply that she has already been trained in some of the techniques, or just perhaps maybe she's beginning to learn. I'm actually excited to see her story, with perhaps may mirror Jin's in terms of the growth, or if she'll come into the story already possessing some of the skills and quite a seasoned assassin. One of the most impactful parts of Ghost of Tsushima was the choices that players can make at the end of the game. It's now confirmed that players will have more control over Atsu's journey, which opens up possibilities for narrative depth and replayability. Now, I'd love to see significant choices at the key story points, perhaps one at the end of each chapter. Now, in Tsushima, the outcome of the final choice grants you a unique look towards Jin's ghost armor, and I hope this tradition continues in Yotei. Having these choices visually reflected in Atsu's attire or surroundings would be a meaningful way to personalize the journey. Now, weapon diversity was a much requested addition after Ghost of Tsushima, where Jin primarily relied on his katana in the melee and used a tanto for the stealth. Atsu, however, is already shown wielding dual katanas and a kusaragama. It's a sickle with a chain, by the way. Now, there's even a hint that she might use a larger no-dachi blade. Now, with such variety, it'll be quite fascinating to see how Sucker Punch incorporates these weapons into the combat, especially in relation to the stance system. Now, the stance switching mechanics in Tsushima was highly praised, and I hope it actually returns, potentially even adapts to the different weapon types. And as such, Ghost of Tsushima's armor upgrades has a satisfying progression personally for me, now changing both aesthetics and of course its stats. While charms offered helpful abilities, however, weapon upgrades were mostly limited by simple damage boosts. Adding a charm-like system for weapons or more unique upgrades that fit the different playstyles could be a fantastic improvement. Imagine crafting a katana and enhancing the stealth, or choosing perks that give a ranged advantage. This level of customizability would make an upgrading feel more meaningful and perhaps even strategic. Ghost of Tsushima received substantial post-launch content, including the Iki Island DLC, Legends mode as well for its multiplayer, New Game Plus afterwards, and a replayability enemy camps. I hope to see many of these features available on day 1 in Ghost of Yotei. Sucker Punch's generosity with updates was appreciated by the fans, and I'm optimistic they'll continue this trend. A more refined New Game Plus mode with additional challenges and customizability options would be a welcome addition as well. Now, as a huge fan of Ghost of Tsushima, I am genuinely thrilled to see how Sucker Punch Productions is expanding and refining the experience of Ghost of Yotei. The combination of the new protagonist, a larger map, and enhanced combat mechanics suggests an even richer gameplay experience. With a focus on creating varied side activities, improved exploration, meaningful choices, and an evolved upgrade system, Ghost of Yotei has a potential to become a masterpiece. I'm eagerly awaiting more updates from Sucker Punch, and with the power of the PlayStation 5 Pro behind it, the game promises to be an unforgettable journey through Hokkaido. And at that, thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys all, and have a wonderful day.